It's the morning drive at Mirror Business FM. Shariah-compliant gold is becoming one of the hot topics in global finance, with the UAE launching the world's first compliant spot gold market. So, what is halal gold, as it's known? Why is demand growing so fast? And could Dubai become the global hub for this booming sector? Stephen Hawkins, I should say, is the chairman and CEO of Paradigm Holdings, and he is with me. It's good to meet you.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us, Stephen. Welcome to Morning Drive. Gold's always kind of been the heartbeat of the Dubai economy. We are in the city of gold, of course. Absolutely. We all know that. But we're adding a new, highly regulated, we should say at the outset, layer to the crown, if you like, and that's Shariah-compliant spot gold. All of a sudden, halal gold's getting some attention then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what we're seeing is, on a consumer level, the demand is increasing infinitely. And I think in response to that, we're seeing banks are wanting to service their customers. So banks are buying gold. Banks are selling gold to their customers. In fact, I was on Sheikh Zayed Road at the weekend and saw a big billboard sign saying, buy your Sharia-compliant gold from us, which was from a bank. So I think demand is for gold is hot right now, I think, because there's so much global uncertainty.
Yeah.
People are moving towards physical assets where they can feel it, they can hold it, they can have it in their hands, and they can trade it whenever they want to trade it. So I think that's driving demand. And in response to that, particularly because, as you say, we're in the city of gold, there is nowhere quite like Dubai for gold. It's the epicenter of physical gold trading. So consequently, the throughput of gold through Dubai every year is colossal. So it's really servicing that demand.
I mean, it's kind of no surprise, is it, that this happens? It's a great label, Sharia-compliant gold or halal gold, I suppose. So we've got the world's first compliant spot market. Traded values, I'm just looking here on the DGCX, the Sharia contract spiked nearly 200% recently.
Sure. Yep.
That's popular.
Yep.
But what is it that makes gold halal? How is this kind of precious metal Sharia compliant?
Absolutely, yeah. It's really about the transaction itself,
Right.
following the pillars of Islamic finance. So it means that you've got to have title to the gold.
Yep.
There's no leveraged finance involved, so no interest-bearing finance,
Yep.
no derivatives, and then it's basically a spot trade. So the transaction happens where the trade and the cash transaction happen simultaneously.
Okay, so it contravenes no elements of your
Exactly.
faith, your belief.
Indeed.
Okay, the thing is this, right? Gold's just a metal.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's a nice shiny metal. It's finite in source. In Islamic finance, am I right in saying this? I've been reading up a little bit this weekend. It's a ribawi. It's a ribawi item. So there are very strict rules on how it's traded to avoid usury, the act of lending money, an interest rate or an overly high interest rate. Can you explain the mechanical difference between buying a standard gold future and a Sharia-compliant spot contract?
Yeah. So with a future, you're effectively buying a derivative. So you're essentially gambling on what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
So that's the main difference and why it falls foul of the Islamic fundamentals.
So it requires kind of constructive possession.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I think what also makes gold attractive for Islamic investors is it's a non-yield bearing asset.
Yeah.
In other words, unlike shares or bonds, which give a coupon, there's no yield from gold. It's just straight capital gain.
Unless, of course, you lease gold, because that's another side. But we'll
Absolutely,
maybe come to that in another way.
Yeah.
What is it about the UAE in this space, Stephen? What is it about this kind of city of gold that we're in?
Yes. It's a good question. Yeah.
It's a very vague question, but it's a valid question because I can't explain why this is the city of gold.
It's a global trading hub, and if you think about it geographically, so a lot of the gold is sourced from Africa. Yeah. Of course, there's a lot of gold in South America, but that doesn't seem to find its way here. Okay. That probably defaults to America. But certainly from Africa, this is the logical spot for it to come, where it's refined here. It's a lot of it, roughly 50%, is converted into jewelry, which again exports out to India and other places in Asia.
Right.
So on the one hand, you've got people here, you've got central banks that are buying gold bullion to shore up their reserves. We have, as a company, we have contracts for 3 governments And I know 2 of them are currently stockpiling their gold reserves at the moment, which then opens up credit lines for them with other countries. So on the one hand, you've got the institutional play, where people are stockpiling gold, central banks. And then on the other hand, you've got the retail market, the consumer market, which we're now seeing, as I mentioned, through banks making gold available to their customers, through ingots and bars and so on, but also the jewelry side of things as well. And as you know, in Indian culture, for example, that's how wealth is gifted, through jewelry, often a gold chain, which is typically 22, 24 karat gold. That's someone's wealth.
Yeah.
So it's there's really nowhere quite like it that has, whole infrastructure here that can cater with all of that. Some big industrial scale refineries that can make the gold bars, hallmark gold bars, as well as jewelry here. There's umpteen jewelry workshops here in the Golden Diamond Park alone that are making.
It's unbelievable here.
Really is.
I my wife's birthday at the weekend. I had something made.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest process. If I was
Really is.
where I'm from, just not possible.
Yeah. Why would you go to London and do that when you can do it here?
It's so simple. No, it's a very good point. How big could this become globally as a market?
It's definitely gaining traction. I mean, it's been since the 1940s the epicenter for gold, but I certainly see an upwards track. In terms of gold throughput through here, I think what we're going to see going forward, steadily increasing demand from this region. I think more scrutiny on source of gold, and that's another aspect that we haven't touched on, the ethics, not just about Islamic principles of buying and trading in gold, but also the origin of gold. We're going to see more scrutiny, more compliance required. We're in 6 African countries as a company. And for example, Uganda, where we also operate, we've got a small refinery there. And just in the last month, 8 refineries have been closed due to non-compliance. Not us, I'm pleased to say.
Right.
But there's an ever-increasing scrutiny. So I think that's...
Well, that's interesting because, outside looking in, I would look at this and think, well, that's if I was Muslim, this is a great product for me.
Sure.
But it's not exclusively for a Muslim investor. No. This is for anybody that
absolutely,
maybe has slightly more regard for the ethics, or if that's important too.
Absolutely, and I think as we saw with the diamond market some years back, with Kimberley certificates being introduced to ensure that you're not getting into blood diamonds, as they were called. Similar to the principles when it comes to gold. The World Gold Council sets standards that you need to adhere to in terms of the origin of gold, and ensuring that there's no incidents of slavery. To ensure that toxic chemicals aren't leached into the ground. There's a whole set of principles around that. So it's important to us as a company that we visit the mines and we observe for ourselves that this isn't happening. So I'm pleased to say that's important.
Why are people turning more to physical assets now, do you think? I mean, you mentioned uncertainty, and it's been a remarkable year or two for gold. Yeah. We all know that. I realise now it's a little bit more static. We're in a very unusual time at the moment. Uncertain, yes, but unusual is where we're headed, I guess. What is it about physical assets like gold?
I think it's the ability that you've got it in your possession, or at least in a vault anyway, and that you can trade it when you want to. Unlike real estate, you might have a beautiful house. If you want to sell it, it could take 6 months to a year, possibly longer. Whereas with gold, there's always a ready market for it. And you could go into the gold souk area and sell it today. So it's the liquidity aspect, whilst giving you opportunity for long-term growth. Sure, it's volatile, has been volatile recently, but year on year, we're still up 41% over the last 12 months and 140% over 5 years. And there aren't too many assets that can claim that.
No, I certainly can't think of anything like that at the moment off the top of my head. Do you think halal gold could attract? Is it an attractive proposition to mainstream global investors? Do you think?
Yeah, I believe so, and we've certainly seen demand coming from wealth management companies who are wanting to include that in their clients' portfolios. That are doing deals with vaulting companies that the client holds X% of their portfolio in physical gold.
So it becomes an actual part of asset allocation.
Very much so.
Okay. Just a quick reminder, you can find all the interviews that we do or highlights on YouTube, on Instagram, and LinkedIn. Dubai, a very, very strong hub for global gold trading. You're here. You've been here a couple of years.
I've been here 2 years. I've been coming here on business for 28 years.
Okay, and finally made the move.
You finally made the move, yeah.
What tipped the...
Just waiting for my children to stabilise in London and be secure in their careers, and then it was the right time for my wife and I to come here. Yeah.
Okay. So you've been securing supply deals across Africa to feed back into the UAE. Yeah. At the same time, Dubai's launching dirham-denominated gold contracts to compete with London, yes, with Shanghai. Are we witnessing a moment where Dubai moves from the trading hub that we all know to a price setter for Shariah gold?
I think that could well come. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, certainly the gold deals which are done through London, of course, LBMA has historically set the gold price, right, albeit in US dollars. Yeah. What we'll see going forward, I think, is typically those London contracts are institution to institution. So, it could be X tons of gold, which often never leave the vault of that particular bank. They're just traded that way. Whereas Dubai, the difference being this is physical gold trading. This is actual bars physically moving from one place to another. Right. So I think you're right. I think we could revert to a similar kind of system here, provided that I think we stay within the principles of Islamic finance, because through London we're seeing a lot of ETFs being traded, yes, which may not necessarily conform to the principles that are required here.
Yeah. So this forms it's a new area of Islamic finance, isn't it? What is it? What potentially could be the impact of Shariah-compliant gold on the world of Islamic finance?
I think it could set the standard in terms of a requirement. I think whilst there's no register of how much gold that's transacted here is halal gold, right, I think certainly from my own knowledge of the transactions and how they're traded here, I think the majority of them would fall under the principles.
You're a person who you're very clear about risk, and I found a quote from you, a quotation. I wonder if it actually is you. Okay. Sustainable growth built on real assets is built on real assets, disciplined strategy, and the ability to navigate risk, not avoid it.
Sounds about right.
That's attributed to you, so that's good.
Yes, I think so.
I got that right. So clearly, investors are always looking for a safer. Sure. They're always looking for more transparent assets. What risks should investors understand before they enter this market?
I think understand volatility, and I think the principles of any balanced investment portfolio is about diversification. So you'll have some equities, you'll have some fixed interest securities, and then commodities increasingly coming in. And I think just to understand, firstly, how they react to each other. So, for example, in a rising interest rate environment, what's the impact of that on the other assets within your portfolio? Mm-hmm. And to understand volatility, and also the range of volatility, how much the movement could be.
It's to respect volatility, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if we look at the gold price alone, in the last 2 months, I think end of January, we were at 5,600.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And where we are now, 4,500, just over, I think. So it's down 20%. But the long-term track is still upwards. And I think when you understand the fundamentals of what caused that volatility, which is an extremely rare occurrence, the conflict in Iran and the potential blockage of supply chain coming from Africa to here, from here to Asia, when you understand what caused it, then you can see why the volatility reacted as it did.
That's right. I mean, Jeff Rhodes is our kind of gold guy on this program, who's in regularly. He is still predicting, and he's incredibly accurate with his predictions as well. But his belief is still that gold will hit $6,500.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah, and I think JP Morgan have also...
JP Morgan would agree with that. Yeah.
HSBC.
And I'm not sure they would agree with Jeff. Their notes probably come from a different place. But I mean, it seems,
It's
that's
feasible.
a perceived wisdom, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So we've seen $5,600 a troy ounce earlier this year. We often look at strategies for wealth preservation on this program. For the Muslim investor, the Islamic investor, or maybe an ethical fund manager, is Sharia-compliant gold maybe kind of like the ultimate safe haven in the same way as gold is often perceived against inflation that we are likely to see in 2026. Sure. Could this become one of the UAE's next major success stories? I
really think it could.
Yeah,
I think it meets the principles of Islamic finance. It gives the liquidity that many assets don't, and it's got real prospect for some significant growth in the short to medium term.
What are the trends? What are you watching most closely right now? You've obviously got an eye very firmly on your day-to-day, if you like. But what are you watching at the moment, Stephen?
In terms of assets or?
In terms of assets, first of all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what happens in the current conflict is paramount in terms of what may happen to the gold price.
Right.
So that's a consideration. We've always got to have a plan B, that if we can't... whilst the airspace only closed for a very short period of time, and a lot of large gold shipments move through private aircraft anyway. Mm-hmm. So as long as the airspace is open, then gold can still move. It doesn't have to be in scheduled air cargo. So movements and just ensuring supply chain is holding up. That's a key part. And also, demand is always there. We always have people that want to buy gold from us. So we just have to ensure that we've got enough supply coming from Africa. And that's why we're diversified across 6 different countries currently, and another 1, possibly 2, coming on stream later this year.
Gotcha. Final question for you.
Sure.
And this, I have to do, it's kind of an obligation to do the crystal ball question. So be ready. There's the crystal ball in front of you.
Okay.
Where do you see this market in the next 5 years?
Okay.
And does that match with where you would like to see this market?
I think I'm in Jeff's camp on this one. I think,
really?
Yeah, very much so. I think if you look at trading ranges, so I think if everything stays relatively calm in the region, then I think we may end the year 5,500 to 6,000. Next year, it would be reasonable to expect somewhere between 20% to 40% growth, but a long-term track upwards over 5 years. Yeah, some good growth. So definitely in the right direction.
Okay. Can I make a quick pitch to you?
Of course.
Yeah, I do think it would be great to invite you back to meet the oracle that is Jeff Rhodes on this program, because Stephen Hawkins and Jeff Rhodes together, that we could bill that as something very special. Yeah. I know you've heard that joke a million times, but there you go. I had to finagle it in some way.
I know. I'm used to it.
So a new era for the yellow metal. Stephen Hawkins is the chairman, the CEO of Paradigm Holdings. It'd be good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in this morning. If you enjoyed today's discussion, feel free to share it, leave a comment as well. This is Mirror Business FM.